So for my final project, I really like cars. So in this assignment, I am looking at the market of used cars and different subsets within, just asking general questions about stuff that I find interesting. Here's my dataset link. I used a dataset from Kaggle. I had to remove a faulty row, but I still got it done. Loaded my libraries, imported pandas and matplotlib and stats models, NumPy and all that. Then I had to make I had to have a function to convert the columns to a numeric data type. I set the output to 0. I tried to set it as none, but didn't like that, so I just kept it 0. But it worked out. Here's me importing my data. So set up my data frame with my car prices CSV, and I had to do a bunch of extra work here to get it to work just because of one of the faulty rows in the data set, but it worked out fine. Um, Here's my data set as a head and print it out, so it looks real nice. This is just me using describe for my data frame and finding out the mean, meeting the mode, and stuff like that, so I could use it later. Here's a scatter plot for my first question. My first question was, how does the number of miles a car has affect its price? I used the plot just out of simplicity and because it's what I prefer. So it worked out really well. In the graph above, we can see a correlation between the number of miles a car has and the price it will sell for. As mileage decreases, we can see the increase in price of used cars, and as mileage increases, we see a decrease in the price of used cars. So there's a negative association when it comes to the number of miles a car has and its selling price. And you can see that pretty clearly in the graph here. This is me just printing out the data frame for mileage in my data set. Here I generate a histogram. Did it pretty much just like we did in another assignment, very similar. I had to give it an interesting range just because of how mileage is on cars. You don't really see that many, or I mean, you can, but like depends on how just high mileage stuff like that. The histogram, I think looks really clean. I like how it looks. The graph, the histogram represents the distribution of mileage in the data frame of the car's mileage. So the mean was around 66,000 miles, and the median for most used cars is around 51,000 miles. So around half of the cars in the data frame have almost 51,000 miles. The mode is 40,000 miles, and as you can see in this histogram, it skews to the right, meaning that most cars in the data set have less than 100,000 miles. This is me checking the value counts just real quick, see what's going on, see how many makes of each, like how often each make shows up in the data frame, and Ford was the most. And using this, I plotted the distribution of the top 20 most common manufacturers. So I have my data frame and use a bar graph here. And as you can see, Ford has the most sales. So, back to my questions. What manufacturer sells the most used cars? It's Ford, as you can see here in my bar graph. And I say in my paragraph here, in the graph above, we can see which car manufacturer sells the most used cars. The leading manufacturer is Ford, over 80,000 sales. It's worth noting that the high number of car sales by Ford could be attributed to like the wide range of models they have, and like their reliability, the marketing strategies they use, stuff like that. My last question is what is the most influential factor when determining the price of a used car? And this is me setting up for a linear model. Um, so I have my X as my data frame for odometer, urine condition, and MMR, which are just factors of a car that like affect the selling price, and my Y is the data frame for the selling price. Here's the linear model, so set that up, and then I'm interpreting the results here, and my LLS for regression results, which you can see with the coefficients for odometer, year condition, and MMR. And I said, according to the OLS regression results, the most important factor that affects the selling price of a car is the MMR, which is the Manheim Market Report, and Manheim is just kind of like the basis for like pricing of cars, used cars. So as the MMR value increases, the selling price is likely to increase as well. Other factors such as the mileage, year, and condition of the car have significant impact on selling price. Like here, you can see the coefficient for condition. As it increases 1 unit, the price goes up by that much. So using what I learned in the Unit 6 assignment, I can say with a 95% confidence that the effects of each of these listed variables are significant due to each variable having a p-value less than 0.05. And that's my final project. Thank you.